Boom. Greetings to one and all. Likkle Minty there. You know, every now and then I like to hold a little reasoning with the artists from near, far, far and wide around the world, and just enlighten you, the viewers, and even enlighten myself of what's going on around the capital. But today, in these times, we have an artist. Not from the UK, not from JA, not from the US, from the Cayman Islands. Goes by the name of Mr. Notch. So if you don't know him, after this you will get to know him, yeah? So Mr. Notch, greetings, brother.
Greetings, my blood.
Nice to see the eye, you know?
Same way, Minty, yes, man.
Black my story, not his story. I come here so fi mash down Babylon.
So welcome to London.
Thank you so much for having me, you know?
And especially in these times, cause you know the travel situation and so forth. Yeah. So we just have to be safe in these times, you know?
No, I know. I travel far from the Caribbean, but you know there's direct flights now. Just Cayman has done really well with the COVID crisis.
How is it over there?
We don't have to wear any mask. We don't really have to observe social distancing, and we have a system in place just to basically catch people as to discover, not catch people, but to discover that they're sick with COVID as they enter the country.
Okay, so it's
easier to police,
it's easy to eliminate then, and before
and then you quarantine
spread,
them, so you don't let those people have a chance to do social, you know, any type of socializing until they're free.
Okay, that's good. So the figures are really down then. So
well, the figures are down. I mean, the economy is the thing now, you know. We're really the country doesn't really want to open up to any more infectious disease, so the people are kind of wary about just opening the gates. But I really don't think personally there'll be any cruise tourism. You know, tourism is usually our mainstay industry in the Caribbean, like in Jamaica and elsewhere around the basin. So I don't think there'll be any cruise tourism until possibly 2022, and that would be actually very optimistic, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I really think they'll figure out the air travel before that, but I don't think we'll get any cruise, you know.
Okay, no, that's nice to hear. But anyway, you're there. The reason why you're there, this big tune. You know, I've been beating this tune quite a good few months on my radio show, and
respect my brother.
We'll go into that in a bit and tell you all about the tune. But for all the viewers who do not know Mr. Notch, they're give them a recap. The journey of Mr. Notch. Where did it all start from?
Mr. Notch starts from the Juveniles in 1981. The
Juveniles band, yeah.
Juveniles band.
Okay.
A school band, but a recording band produced by Grub Cooper, who produced the Melody Makers and Ziggy Marley in his early years.
Okay.
Grub is responsible for all of the Melody Makers music. Grub Cooper of Fab Five. Basically, we had our first album in 1981, which was the year Bob died. It was released on Tough Gong label, a #1 in Jamaica at the time.
Okay. Was that recorded in Cayman or in Jamaica?
In Jamaica.
Yeah. Okay.
At Aquarius and Tough Gong Studios. I was at just 11 then, a wee boy. So at that time it was the Musical Youth who were taking over the UK with Pastor Dutchy.
So it's another youth band.
It was another youth band just like them.
Okay.
In the Caribbean. Same time. You know, boys playing their instruments and singing, not like New Edition, just singing and dancing.
Yeah.
No, this was
everyone getting involved.
Everyone getting involved, you know. And
what was you lead singer for that?
Lead singer, yes.
Okay.
So that's where the Notch started from. You know, in my school career, I was known as a jack of all trades. I was an athlete. I was an academic, and I was a musician. So actually a performing and recording musician. before I was even a teenager. So that's where the Notch name stuck, you know. You know, in the Caribbean, when you're a champion boy at school,
top notch.
It means so it means a big deal when you're in the Caribbean and you know you have them kind of blessings going on, you know.
Okay.
All thanks be to the Most High. You know.
So from the Juvenile band, what did he continue with the band or?
Yeah, the band continued and became UBU first when we grew out of the Juvenile moniker. So we would have been young adults, and we were taken up by Cedric Brooks. You know Cedric?
Yeah,
Cedric,
I've heard the name.
Cedric M. Brooks, who is one of the horn players for Bob Marley and the Wailers. You know, Cedric basically took us on his wing. And molded and kind of even gave some more discipline, the real professional mind, you know, of what the music industry was, exposed us to that, which we had already been exposed to. But you know, when you're young and you get a lesson, it don't always stick.
It don't stick. So he
And
just
then
came with a different mindset.
Somebody come and restamp it, you know. So Cedric, we were performing with him on Island for a while, and then we just broke out on our own and decided at that stage that I guess we had kind of outgrown each other for a while. So we became the band Tabia. Tabia is one of the Cayman Islands' premier recording bands. We only have really 2 local bands that have ever really been able to take the Jamaica audience. And that's the Memory of Justice and Juveniles Tabia. Juveniles and Tabia. Juveniles as Juveniles and Juveniles as Tabia. Is it? And then I kind of had to just do my own thing because everybody started to go our own way again, you know, and so I just stuck with it. And mostly at that time I was just performing on Island, but I started a production company in Cayman just so that I could actually bring in the headliners and be their opening act and be exposed to their audience and then have a chance to hone.
So it's a good insight into the...
And it's a way to hone your performing skills and to get to know the business at the same time. You put your money where your mouth is, you know.
You're investing in yourself.
In yourself, really, you know. So it was always a win. I mean, even when it was a financial loss, it was a win. Because every experience you learn something that you didn't know the time before, and a lot of it just, you know, and through that I got to meet a lot of the top reggae artists at the time and to perform with them, to become friends with them, and not only that, but I was actually doing things on my own at the same time. So yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of how the Cayman music scene is, you know.
Okay, and then obviously you're still doing your thing, still into the music, still hands on, because well, not apparently you are. Is it the president of the entertainment?
Yes, the president of the Music and Entertainment Association, Cayman Music, which is CMEA. It's been the past 12 years. Yeah, I've been blessed, you know, to have been able to use my experiences to try to influence the direction forward for Cayman music. And that's just something that I've tried to stay on top of for a while. But now it's time to really get back into the music, you know. Now that hopefully what's going to happen in the very near future is that you're going to find a lot more Cayman artists on the international scene. I mean, we've taken a while to adapt to the internet and to other things, but you know, when Bob Marley died, there was a void that was left in Jamaica in reggae, and dancehall kind of filled the void. And dancehall is a great art form, but it has kind of ran its gamut, you know. There's only so much space that
dancehall could feel,
dancehall
because
can feel.
How I see it, dancehall is still there, but then it's like a different kind of dancehall now. You know, it's like they're losing, I should say, the the original dancehall format. So what I noticed as a DJ playing music regular every week in, week out, the reggae is kind of coming on top again, which I like.
Chronics.
The vocal, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's come full circle. So I mean, it's time for songwriters. It's time for it's time for melodies. You know, it's time for arrangement, and people are a bit more. People are now a bit more complex, a bit deeper. You know, especially in times like this with COVID, where you can't really socialize the way you used to before. It's not like you can. You can't interact as closely as you used to. So all of that will lend to people finding more time to really listen to music and to appreciate it for her.
And the writing, more people are listening to more music. The streams up, and as well, what I noticed as well, I don't know if it's because of these times, but people are taking more time with their writing skills and giving us tunes that's a bit long, that's some longevity on it. It's not just a 3 months or 3 weeks.
No, man. There are some great songwriters out there. You're right, man. I mean, we've evolved to the point where I think that it's back to word, sound, and power.
Yeah.
And that's what you're gonna get in the foreseeable future for music.
Yeah,
you know?
I want to see it that way as well.
Absolutely. We don't want people debating and chatting foolishness and getting forwards for that. You know.
I remember there used to be a time where, even if a person didn't listen to news or read newspaper, you know what's going on around the world by just listening to the songs. Although you're having a skank and bubbling at the same time, but you're being educated at the same time, and that's what's coming back. And I like it.
For sure. The Black Lives Movement in America has really stimulated a lot of that conversation and a lot of that creativity, and I'm hoping that Black My Story can actually be a part of that too, you know. Yeah.
So all the journey. So obviously you got a big input into the musical scene in Cayman, like with shows and concerts. Your proper hands on board.
Yeah. Definitely. You know, there's much more work to be done in Cayman. I don't want to paint this utopia, this picture, this perfect utopia when it comes to entertainment. You know, there's always loopholes and back doors and rat shops.
You're always gonna have something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. But those things are a part of the business.
Yeah. You're always gonna have some obstacles in the way. Just trying. Yeah,
you just have to just stay. Yeah, so I just stay focused and steadfast. I don't really deal with certain boy business, you know. Just, I'm a professional thing, man.
Okay, nice. So the Black My Story now. How did all that come about then?
Black My Story.
For you to actually say it right, or was it so much going on that you said to, you know what, I need to write something positive? And I like the intro because it's Marcus Garvey.
Thank you for that. You know, a lot of people don't know who Marcus is.
Yeah.
And that's why it was so important to feature him at the beginning of the song.
Because they don't really say it in the schools.
No. And I had a million songs I could have put forward as a release, but I really wanted to make sure that the song that came out first was really connecting the past and the past and the future through the present.
Yeah.
And that was what was happening at the time.
Marcus Garvey said, watch it there.
Wheresoever you go throughout the world, the black man is discarded, is ostracized, is relegated to the lowest of things. Social, political, and economical. Therefore, this is the problem and one that must be solved.
Oh yeah, Black My Story, real life story. Listen up while I chant down Babylon. Black My Story, don't try to stop me. 500 years under colonial plan. Emancipation, liberation. shine through democracy. Long time we trod in freedom roads and still not free. Equal rights and justice for humanity. We want one God, one aim and one destiny. Black my story, not his story. I come here so fi mash down Babylon. I black my story, don't try to stop me. I just this time in a the Gideon. For the thieves, bloodsuckers and the wagonists, I'm here to tell you, say shadows will come to light. If you want to say your life, make your deeds positive. And no more sorry excuses are gone bye-bye.
You know, there's so much brutality and stuff going on in America, so much racism, overt racism, that, and I mean, that's I hate to say it, but that's the nail in America's coffin, you know. That's the straw that's gonna break the back of that great empire if they don't fix it. It's the elephant in their room, you know. It's that thing that they really need to get in charge of.
Serious
the song came about, man. Like I said, you know, I was telling, I was speaking to Judith. Yes, just this morning I was saying to her that you know, with the Marcus Garvey intro, sometimes you read something in life and it doesn't really mean the same thing to you the second time you read it. And every time you read it after that,
you get a different
like something else is revealed, you know what I'm saying? And that's how it was. It's like I just kept reading, I'd read these utterances of Marcus, and certain things are appealing, but they don't really resonate other than the literal context they were given. And I read that particular section, and it just, it struck me as though Marcus was issuing a challenge, even though he issued the challenge without issuing a challenge. You know, wheresoever you go throughout the world, the black man is relegated and subjugated to the lowest of things, ostracized, whether social, political, or economical. That therefore suggests a problem, and one that must be solved.
Strong words.
But who's going to solve it? So here's this guy saying this in the 30s to us now in the 2020, you know what I mean? And it still isn't resolved.
It still isn't resolved.
Yes,
it's still like an open book. Yeah.
Exactly. So obviously that particular message from 1930 is going beyond 2020. Because until we get it right, and the reason we can't get it right, I think, is because most people just want to fix the racism that oppresses them. They don't really want to recognize that everybody has some type of oppressive racism. And until we fix that, because even poverty is an oppressive racism. You know, people look down on certain people because
there's different classes.
They have less. You know what I'm saying? They look down on us because of the color of our skin. Some people don't like other people because of the color of their eyes. They don't like them because of who they call Allah, or who they call Jah, or who they call God. You know what I mean? Like, if you quote a scripture to someone and they say, Jah bless, people look at you like, wow, like you didn't say God bless, you said Jah bless. Well, it shouldn't really matter. It's just semantics. And I think until people realize that Jah is Jah, the Almighty, you know, and there's no dividing him up more than how he is already the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, and that's why I always say, you see, this religion thing, to me, as I said, religion's it's like a division. It's just dividing everybody into certain, cause this religion think they're better than this religion, so you can't win.
I like that. Religion comes to division. Yeah, but the man, them just, I don't know why it is like that, but I think the COVID thing though has come, is going to really open up
a lot of people mind.
Yeah, man, it's gonna highlight a lot of things, man. Like, for instance, it shouldn't be that you're gonna die because you don't have the money in your pocket. If we have the technology, save the man's life. But you go to certain hospitals and they hear, well, do you have insurance? And you say like, wow, I sick. You know what I mean? That's your job to help me. What about that? But we don't value life. And that's the thing. Like, we take it for granted, you know? And every man have a purpose. Seeing? So Marcus Garvey, back to him and his contribution. Marcus did his part, you know?
No, more than that.
Traveled from the Caribbean to influence a people in America about their rights, convince them, you know, get on their case, jumpstart a whole civil rights movement.
Yeah,
and
the Black Star Line and all these businesses and so forth. So he done a lot in his time.
And actually, without him, you wouldn't have had Martin Luther King. You wouldn't have had anybody, Medgar Evers. You wouldn't have had anybody who succeeded as a civil rights movement.
If you notice all of these the same Martin Luther King and that they always refer back to words of Marcus Garvey.
Even Bob Marley too, and many more freedom fighters. They realize that there's truth that lies in what the man said. You understand? And that's just it. I mean, the truth, you know, is truth belongs to the Almighty, you know. So, you know, it's his and it's ours to yield, you know. It's a sword, you know. Yeah, man, and the time to deal with this thing, you know, because it's ridiculous, man. It's out of proportion, and all these people who hold on, who just hoarding of dividends. Man got $1 million in the bank just so he can tell you that he got 7 figures. And all this time people starving. You know, your money is called liquid for a purpose. As it's supposed to flow.
Not using it wisely,
We're not using it right. You know what I'm saying? And all of those things are what the Black My Story is all about. As it talks about a whole journey, you know. From the time Marcus started the tune in the intro, right? And then it starts with the emancipation section, so it goes through the whole of slavery. Then it talks about Jim Crowism, black on black violence, talking about in the second verse for the thieves, bloodsuckers, and wagonists. Right?
I've noticed it mentions a lot of these things.
Yes, man. And then it's talking about black on black violence, good night, good night. Now I lay you down to sleep, I know your mama weeping. But you know, guess what? This is how we living out here in the streets. You know what I mean? And then after that now, it goes into discrimination and the segregation and the hypocrisy of it. You know what I mean? Mental abuse driving people crazy, and enough man just pick up and just say, well, I gotta leave my life because I can't get ahead, or I gotta go and I gotta off myself because I can't be the man that I was born to be. So, you know, that's what the song is all about, you know? It's talking about
very informative. That's what it caught me, that's what.
You know what I'm saying? It's dealing with a bag of things, man. And, you know, police brutality down in Missouri, you know, and all of that stuff popped up after I wrote the tune, you know. Some people might think that the song was written like the way it's written.
They kind of you could foresee these things.
That's divine intervention, you know. So I just put the pen to the paper and I just deal with it. You see it? And
nice.
Yeah, man, as a Caribbean man, I really feel like we have a message that the world needs to hear. I come from Cayman, 24 miles long, 132 nations is in my island, and we live peacefully. Even though the Caymanians are being ostracized, relegated, subjugated to the lowest of things. You understand? But we live peacefully. So that's a world, that's an example for the rest of the world. Why it is that we can't live together. Why you can't sort out your problem with me and I sort out my problem with you. My problem with you is you hold on to the money. What's your problem with me? That I born black? I can't change that.
It's not one thing, it's the other, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what the thing said.
So that Black My Story. So where was that? How was the old put together? Was it put in Cayman? The rhythm and section.
Black My Story was I started the songwriting in Jamaica. A friend of mine, I gave him this idea to do a show in Jamaica called Black My Story up in the hills. And boy, we did the show, and the show went well. And while I was there, working with him on the show, because when I do a show, I don't want to put myself in Bob Marley's shoes, but I'll say this, that I've learned a lot from being myself. And when I observe certain other people, I know that their drive is the same as my drive. So I figure, well, there's no reason why I'm not supposed to reach a certain destination if them man who have the same drive and ambition as me have reached that destination.
Yeah, you just have to believe in yourself.
Absolutely. So when I put on a show, I wear every hat. I'm the headliner. I'm the guy who is at the gate collecting the money sometime. I'm working security. I'm pouring drinks. I'm giving orders. I'm sending guys with the keys for the rent-a-car to go and pick up my artists.
Running.
No, that's because sometimes I don't have the help that I really need. And ultimately that's how you learn, because when you're challenged, you don't back down. You rise to the occasion, you know. You stand up and say, man, I'm in too deep. I need to make sure that this thing I run the way it's supposed to run for me. And it's only me and Jah. So if I need the strength of 10,000 soldiers, it's him I must call on, because it's him that's going to send the strength. You know, so we did the show. I doing a million things, and we get back to the hotel and I pen down the first lyrics. Black my story, not history, commence to chant down Babylon. Just, you know, pen out the song. That was the hook. And years later, reading this Marcus Garvey's the utterances of Marcus, I came across that piece and I was like, I like that. I don't know why I like it, but I like it. And my guitarist Mitch, he came on and have one of the toughest guitarists, like Ernest Ranglin, you know, bad boy, you know. Roots and old guy. He's a white guy too, you know. White Cayman guy. You know, we should differentiate.
But for me, he's not so Ernest Angley.
But about playing he thing, you understand? So when I look now, he came to me and said he had found the utterances being verbalized. Somebody had delivered this thing in prose. And for some reason he sent me the clips of it, and I was listening and I was like, yeah, that's it. Pen to paper. And the tune, the rest is history. You know, divine intervention. Really.
Yeah, everything just fall into place.
Yeah, man, and those songs are the best songs, you know. Those songs are the songs that, you know, they come on a breeze, you know. Those songs are the great songs.
Yes.
They have a feel to them, you know.
So the rhythm in all that is built in Jamaica?
In Jamaica, so I took that nucleus of the words and stuff, and I hang out in Jamaica a lot with Paul Castick, who I used to play with in the 809 band. I'm a Jamaican, I have a band called 809 one time, you know. So I just was with Paul in Jamaica, Groove Galore, large up, big up yourself, Castick. And we went by Gibby's, which is down by, I know Dean lived close by, but I can't remember the name of the area all now, you know. I want to say Hagley Park, but it's probably not Hagley Park. Dean Fraser. But close to where Dean lived. Because Dean used to be in 809, same way. And yeah, Gibby had a studio there. Gibby is bass player for Peter Tosh one time. I would say Gibby was Peter Tosh bass player for You Johnny Be Good. You don't quote me on them things. I just told the man play with everybody and can play anything and do anything. They're like some amazing. You meet them guys and you're just shocked at the amount of talents they have. The man then pull down the whole computer and put it back together, every screw in the right place. And
I can imagine.
Them kind of guys, you know. So Gibby just, but wicked guitarist, you know. And we have a little studio around the back, and Cassick said, come here, we get this thing I put down, red light. And we start the tune, boy. Hold on there, do this, do that. Bam! And Gibby right there. Play bass, Castick play drum, and then Gibby come back with this solo, this guitar, rock guitar that he put all through the tune that I love. Because it makes the song.
It get that
It made the song angry, man.
Yeah.
Give it a roots rock reggae.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it got a real rebel music thing going on with the tune, you know. If you listen to the tune, like, I said, what? And Norris Webb, Norris, who's now Third World's keyboard player, he used to play with City Heat and Diana King back in the day. So Norris was there on keyboards with us. And
okay, so a good class of musicians on it. And,
absolutely. I actually did the final mix here in the UK at Old Street Studios. Before that, we had Rohan in Jamaica do us, Rohan Dwyer. Rohan did a pre-mix, which I loved. But, you know, as a vocalist and as a songwriter and as a producer, sometimes you're never satisfied.
Yeah,
you know,
the more and more you hear this, you think, nah, I could do with this, could do with that. Me not.
You know, and sometimes you have to throw away certain colours and keep it simple, but still. But a song like this couldn't be simple.
Yeah.
It really had to have all of the elements.
Kind of stand out because it has to come for that effect. And just pull people into this.
See, you know what I'm gonna, and actually, you know, if I'm to be honest, there's a little bit more. Yes, Castic. There's a little bit more that could have went into it, but I chose to say, nah, it's ready to go now, you know. So we have tunes, man. Sometimes we sit down and they're powerful tunes, you know, and the man I'm itching to it. Yes, man, I'm ready. No, it's not ready yet. You're not ready to say it's ready, you know. No. You can't take a bread out of the oven and serve it to people and it clammy on the inside, you know.
You have to make sure everything's proper, you know.
That would be fluff, right, you know. Yeah.
Okay, so Black My Story, Mr. Notch. If you haven't got it, just it's all digital. It's
Absolutely, all digital platforms.
All digital platforms. You need just look for it, cause it's awesome. Yeah, and just make sure you turn up the bass, the treble, the mid range. Just look at it. Just set it thing nice. Yeah. So Black My Story, tough. So what else is in the pipeline for Mr. Notch?
This year's gonna be a good year, you know. 2021, we're gonna make it a good year. And I want everybody to be positive and work together to make 2021 a great year, not just for Mr. Notch, but for yourself. I have a release of a cricket song, which is a soca. I wrote an anthem for the West Indies cricket team. I think it's time we start to push the Caribbean back to the top of the world, you know. So the song is called What a Feeling. What a feeling we get when we giving them six. You know what I'm saying? So when we mash up some Pakistani and you know what I mean, hold them straight, you know. So time for some Garfield Swobas type of records and some amazing things from the Caribbean people here, you know, all over the world.
Okay.
Wherever we are, you know. So we have What a Feeling coming in November, ready for the cricket that starts in January. And then we have an EP of Black My Story, which is a lot of different versions of Black My Story. It'll be Black My Story, a hip-hop version, a R&B version.
Different mixes, yeah?
Complete different production too. But same vocal track, you know.
Same vocal track.
Same message, you know.
Yeah, but just on different rhythms and in a different... remember, not everybody probably likes reggae, so you have to do it in a kind of hip-hop style to gravitate.
You say it, my brother, you understand?
Something for everybody, yeah.
Clever. You're on the same wavelength, man. But that's the idea. The idea is basically to try to make sure that
it reaches everybody out
there.
It
reaches everyone. The message
reaches to young,
no one can say, well, I don't listen to that, or it's there for you, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, because that's the thing about the gospel. You know, it's for everyone. And everybody needs it, man. This is fuel for the fire, man. This is stuff that the freedom fighters need to trot on with, you know. Some real protesting.
Good.
Yeah, man. And man, stand up and let's get this thing resolved, and let's move to the next thing.
Yeah.
You know, let's get racism out of the way, man, and let's just accept that we're all God's children, you know, and move to the next level. So for me, In February there'll be that EP, and that'll be synced with the release of Reggae Man, which is dropping in their chests at sometime during what would be the same Black History Month, but it would also be Bob Marley Month in Jamaica.
Yeah, Reggae Month. They call it Reggae Month.
Reggae Month now. And over in the West, it would be Black History Month. So it'll be 2 songs released then. That'll be Search the Town, which is a ballad. You have to have a girl, sure.
Yeah.
You know,
have to have a ballad, you know what I mean? Yeah.
My song is about just searching for. I don't have her. I don't have her. There's no romancing going on. It's just searching. You know, so Search the Town, Reggae Man in February.
Okay.
What a Feeling in November. Black My Story EP in November, and then the album. You know, I'm contemplating doing a single release for the summer. I want to say it's gonna. I don't really think that I haven't made up my mind yet. Yeah.
As I said, one step at a time.
One step at a time.
There's no rush.
No.
Sometimes there's no rush to get these things out there. You have to make sure it's proper, and then for the right time. Remember, and then
you have to live with it.
You have things last.
You have to live with it.
If you want that lasting effect, you have to drop everything at the right time in its right format and so forth. Yeah.
Yes.
Overs. So I saw some video thing on is it K Mankind or something?
Yes.
Was it you in the video?
Absolutely, I am. You produced the song.
Yeah, cause I see the behind first. I said, he must have had something to do with this. So I said, I'm for ask you.
Yeah, it's our national tourism.
It's tourism.
It's like our tourism anthem for the country. You know, you have Mankind and you have K Mankind, which is, you know, I guess a step above being mankind. It's about being, you know, extra neighborly, extra caring, extra loving to each other, and extra K Mankind.
Red light.
Yeah. The sun is up, the sun is up. The sun is up and it's smiling. Another clear blue perfect day.
A warm breeze from the ocean.
Warm breeze blows your troubles away.
A walk on the white sandy beaches.
A call from the turquoise sea. You know you're right where you're meant to be. If you find yourself believing, if you find yourself still dreaming, if you find yourself in love with life, you found yourself in Cayman kind. We're in Cayman kind.
You know, so there's a songwriter from America who was working with one of our marketing teams for the nation, and they wanted to do a country song for the Cayman Islands. One of the things that we've done, it's arguable, it's understandable why we did it. In the Caribbean, all of us, we tend to focus more of our marketing towards the American market because America's proximity geographically. What we don't realize is that, like, especially in times of like COVID like this now, it's like fishing in one pond. You have to fish in many ponds if you want to make sure that you're going to keep eating. Because if we had fished in the European market adequately or equally with the American market, we would be able to open up our tourism right now earlier than we'll have to hold off that sector of the economy. So it's just what it is, you know. I think that all in all, K Mankind, it was a national song for the country, and they wanted to do it as a they wanted to do as a country music song because it was catering to the American market.
No, it sounds like.
And as a president, as the president of the association, I stood up and said, "Nah, man, that can't happen. It can't happen. Impossible, because we are not country people, country music people. We like country music. All people in the Caribbean like country music. You know that. It
was in the household. Granny and all these.
You know what I'm saying? And it's what the American do, pick up on the American radio. But it doesn't identify us as a people. So I said to them, I said, man, give me the country song and I'll convert it to a reggae. So I got the best cats on the island together, and with their finance, obviously, and I produced a reggae track called K-Mankind.
Yeah, and the girl who sings it, the vocal, she's from Cayman?
KK Elise, yeah. There's actually 4 girls and they're all bad, but the one who's doing the lead vocal on the track they released, as a producer, I let them all do the vocal track, and I gave the Department of Tourism, whose job it is to market the country, and the option to pick who the lead vocalist should be, because I didn't want to get in a fight with 4 ladies. You know what I'm saying? So I just, you have to be diplomatic, you know. So luckily for her, and she had a great track. A young Jamaican Cayman vocalist. I won't say she's Jamaican because of her parents' ancestry, but she was more than likely born in Cayman. You know, lived there all of her life. She dropped a wicked vocal on it, man. KK Elise. Big up yourself, KK. Job well done. Yeah. James Angle, a cousin of mine, sang on it. Barry Kwape, another really good female singer. And I'll just say My Little Songbird. Miss Hernandez, amazing. Yeah, she really delivered. Angelique.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, man. So it was just, it was a good project, and something to bring a lot of the musicians together. And before that time, those opportunities weren't given to local artists. They were given to foreign musicians to do. So it was just another accomplishment. And it was another accomplishment for me as a president of the association. You know, I guess they reward. I don't know if they thought they were rewarding me by letting me produce it because it was work, but they weren't rewarding me for that purpose. They were rewarding me by allowing Cayman musicians to play on the track.
Get involved in all that.
Get involved, and that's how it should be. You know, you shouldn't really outsource your culture. You know, no. I mean, culture is always moving, though. You know that, right? It's always evolving.
Before you got talent, then just make use of talent.
Yes, man. Of course, my brother. You have to. You know what I'm saying? You have to.
All right. So, for the viewers out there who need to get hold of Mr. Notch, find out more about them.
Mr.Notch, Instagram, Facebook, same way. Mr. Notch, Mr.Notch. My website now is currently under construction. It'll be up very shortly, but it'll be something to that effect as well. On YouTube, you can hit me up as well. I have a YouTube channel. You know, I think the YouTube channel is Jesse Notch, though. I think though, Jesi Notch.
Okay.
That's what I think it's under.
Look out for it. Yeah. But yeah, man, just keep up the good works and just keep me up to date. Any new thing I like to know, 'cause I'm still on the radio, still keeping it active. So I'm definitely keep the link, man. Love the works.
All the love,
yeah. All right.
God bless.
To the next time, Mr. Notch. If you haven't heard of him, you have now. Yeah. So to the next time, we're out there. Ciao, ciao.